I just read a couple of comments that were on here. Yeah, I say don't pay the national debt. I'm looking you in the eye and I'm saying it. Don't pay the national debt. It's an illegal financial obligation that was put upon us through fraud. Do you hear me? Through fraud, misrepresentation, deliberate misrepresentation, and fraud, even by those in our own government who were the patsies of foreign powers. Rothschild, this is one piece of meat you do not own. You will never own me. I would rather pull a bullet in my head before I allow you to take ownership of me or to dictate anything to me. Same with you, Rockefeller, and all you other scumbags that are on the board of the Federal Reserve who are robbing us blind even to this day. Screw you. About me being unlucky in life, I'd like to address that. I don't see it that way. Yeah, bad stuff happens all the time to me. It seems more than normal people get, but I look at it like this too. It's a blessing. I know that may sound bizarre, and it's not. I'm not neurotic, nor am I crazy. I do have borderline personality and PTSD. Well, they can actually do consider borderline personality disorder a permanent disability, but I ain't heard anyone say you're crazy from it. But I look at it like this. When I was an advocate at two different places, people were drawn to me before they would even go to any other advocate. And once people found out I was there, they'd come to me. Why? Because of my history. That they come to me, they don't have to be afraid of opening up totally about what's affecting them in their lives because they knew that I was not going to judge them, that I could have empathy for them and their position in life. Whereas if I'd been somebody who'd never experienced any hardship in life, wouldn't have a clue, wouldn't be able to relate to the people nor their problems. So I see the fact that I've had problems as a blessing because I've been there. I've done that. I've experienced it. And I know some coping tools. I know resources to send people to. So the more bad that happens to me, I say all the more the merrier. Um, because it enriches me as a person in ways that most people are never enriched. It isn't just good things that enrich you, it's also the bad things and in how you receive and deal with those bad things. The two things that I just mentioned, borderline personality disorder and the PTSD, those are not something that are easily dealt with. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to deal with them before I die. I know the borderline personality, that's there for life. The PTSD, I don't know because PTSD, when you suffer from that, if you repeatedly suffer trauma, time after time after time, and in a short time span, what happens is your brain starts using different neural pathways. And if you have that repeated trauma over time and in a short time, your brain stays locked into that neural network that it's using. You never go back to being normal again. There's no pill, no operation, no nothing that cures that. No therapy with some yahoo who studied out of a damn book and born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Or even if it is a doctor who happens to struggle and has to work to pay his wealth through college, he still can't relate to that. You know, it's words he reads about the traumas that happen to children. Excuse me a minute. Excuse me, people. I didn't mean to expose you to that. But don't worry, it's not catching over the mic. But Yeah, I got to go back to that. That's a blessing because I'm able to be there in so many other different areas of people's lives. So maybe that's what my mission was on earth, uh, by God, is to experience what I've experienced so I can be there to help other people. And if I didn't think that, well, I got to think that because, as I stated once before, I was I was given up for dead 3 times. One of those times was at my own hand. And according to the doctors, that full bottle of medicine that I took was enough to kill an elephant. They got me to the hospital, hosed me down. Um, I was suffering from hypothermia. My core body temperature was 79 degrees. My liver and kidneys had shut down. And after they put the heated blanket on me, they shoved me off into the corner in the emergency room and left me there for either to make it or not. They didn't think I would. I did. And it didn't end there. They took me to a room. Uh, Obviously, I wasn't aware of it. And I was out of my mind for well over a month and a half. And then one day I just wake up and I have full consciousness. And come to find out, once I have a lucid mind and I'm conscious, they tell me for that whole time of that month and a half plus, I was talking to them about where I'd cached my food. Flashback. I was flashing back in my coma. So, and they used that against me because none of them were vets. None of them were related to anybody who was a veteran. They didn't know what to think about me talking about cash and food and arms and using how to breathe underwater and how to elude the enemy and LURPs. In case you don't want to know what a LURP is a long range reconnaissance. So, yeah, that was a ticky spot, a sticky spot for me. But the end result is the VA said there's nothing wrong with me. I just see suicide as a viable option. And there's nothing wrong with me for seeing that. And that was in 90. And here today, that's the same party line that they are placing out there for vets returning that are broken from Iraq as well as Afghanistan. And let's not forget the unmentioned theaters of operations that they go into that we're not supposed to know about, such as Iran and Pakistan. But can't get into that too much. Um, I want to be able to make it to the woods. Then I'll get into it. And I will never be in one spot where they can triangulate my position, nor would I be online long enough for them to do so. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. And don't forget, I was in telecommunications. But at this point in my life, I can look back and I can see that just because bad things happen to me doesn't mean that I'm unlucky. And like I said before, I chose this channel name as a lark because they wouldn't give me back SKeene1956. So I did this just temporary until they would give me that channel name back. They haven't. God bless you all.